On tonight's episode, we sit down with a part of history. Mr. Walter Nolting is a World War II veteran and a Merchant Marine veteran who is currently 99 years old and about to turn 100. You'll notice that his speech is often brief and disjointed. Mr. Nolting suffers from a condition known as aphasia, which is a language disorder that affects a person's ability to communicate, express, and understand written and spoken language. Mr. Nolting is a piece of history, and there are moments of clarity and nuggets of information within the interview that are extraordinary. Stories such as this are quickly and rapidly ceasing to exist. So it's pivotal that we seize this opportunity to highlight this great man. This is gonna hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast. The past is very easy to romanticize. Time has a unique way of whitewashing the bad memories, allowing the good ones to remain on the surface. Remembering makes us all beautiful, kind, athletic, and generally in the best position of our entire lives. Not until you go backwards and dissect the events of years gone by can we take off those rose-colored glasses. There was pain, there was suffering, and there was hardship. Sometimes clearing the fog tells us that the good old days weren't always good. Remembering means one thing, that you were strong enough to make it through. Now you are in an elevated position and can see the purpose of the road left behind. You have gained knowledge, you have gained experience, and you have gained perspective, which allows you to move forward every day. I'm Kevin Donaldson, always here with Mike Falaise, and welcome to the Suffering Podcast. If you're a fan of overcoming adversity and overcoming suffering, then we're for you, because that's what we do here, and that's the stories that we highlight. So do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, please comment, ring the bell so you can get notified of all of our new episodes, and now you can join. And of course, follow us on all social media so you can find out what we're up to. Tonight we have a very, very special episode. We bring to you yet another World War II veteran and former and retired Merchant Marine, Walter Nolting. Now, Walter has lived a life that you read in history books, and these stories are slowly going away, but that's what we want to do. We want to get these stories out so they're never forgotten, and never shall we forget what people had done for us, especially fighting during that big war. So thank you very much for coming in.
I thank you very much for being alive yet.
Well, I'm alive because of people like you, and sitting in with us is your son, Chris, and it's going to be something very special for me. I'm a big history guy. So I adore this stuff, and you are, sir, you are living history. So I appreciate you. But before we get into anything, let's throw a big shout out to our marquee sponsor. That's Toyota of Hackensack. We don't trust anybody as police officers or podcasters, but we do trust Toyota of Hackensack. So go to toyotahackensack.com and let them find you a car. So Walter and Chris, each week we take a question from our audience. This week's question comes from Finn Bread. Whatever, they got the social media names. It says, tell us something about yourself that would surprise people who know you. So that one thing that you've been keeping, there's people who've known you your whole life. You're about to be a centenarian. You're 99 years old as we sit here. By the time this airs, you may even be 100.
Yeah.
So what is one thing you've lived your whole life and people who know you don't even know about it?
One thing I remember is Rheingold Girls beer.
Oh, yeah. Rheingold beer.
Yeah.
I remember that.
2 years I chauffeured them. 2 years, 3 cars, 2 in each, 6 girls. And summertime, and I also aphasia. That's what I get is mind working and
so the mind's working
and no come out right.
That's right. I'm 50 years old. I'm half your age, but it happens to me too. So don't think it's something that comes with age.
Yeah.
So Chris, what do you think? What is one thing that people who know you for your whole life don't know about you, but you're going to tell them right now?
Me? Let's see. I don't know. We're pretty kind of an open book type of family. We're huggy. We tell each other we love each other all the time. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, Kev. It's honest, and I'm even trying to think of something that he could even hide that maybe I know about that nobody knows about.
He's got about 6 girlfriends on the side
Yeah,
that
I was
he's
gonna
not
say
telling you about.
I thought
No.
one of the Rheingold girls was gonna be some mistress with is what I thought he was coming out with.
Rheingold girls, pure as angels, because I stutter,
Okay.
and maybe 8, 9 years old, I stutter. High school, grammar school, in the army, 33 months in the army, and 81 years later, I get a stroke.
Tell me you lost your stutter.
Yeah,
You lost your stutter because of a
yeah.
stroke.
yeah,
Hey,
but
absolutely.
I stutter no more now.
That's
I would have taken the stuttering pop to be to be honest with you.
so there's nothing in your life. You're open book with everything.
Pretty much, yeah. Seriously, that's honestly that is a hard question for us. We are open books. Pretty much everybody knows us. Literally knows everything about us.
Really?
Yeah, we're
That's an odd thing because
we're a conundrum.
everybody's got that one thing that they hide. You know, most people. I'm obviously sitting in front of 2 people who don't.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're saying it's people who who know us. I don't know. We really don't have secrets.
So let me put it to you this way. So people see you as a very loving and open family.
Yeah.
Would they be surprised behind closed doors if they knew you fought? Because you would be the unicorn if I found out you didn't fight behind closed doors.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yes. I mean, there's always things that go on, but what we've always said is, as a family, we'll disagree, but at the end of the day, like we're not one of those families that we don't talk to one another or I hate you, and like we don't go there. We can absolutely disagree. We can be angry.
Well, that word hate, you go there, it's hard to take back.
We don't no, we just don't do that. Like even our friends and stuff, they'll all say like when they get to come join the family and see us really who we are, they're all like, you people are crazy. Like they're like nobody's like you.
See, I suffer from it's simple for me. I suffer from extreme shyness and extreme anxiety. People will see me on social media, they'll see me here, and they'll think, oh, he's very open and stuff. Or if I go out and speak, I got a speaking gig going up on Saturday where I'm going to be in front of a stadium of people, and people say, oh, this must be easy for you. No, it's incredibly difficult for me. I'm an incredibly shy person. I don't like letting people into my life. I never have. Maybe it's the way that I grew up. I force myself to do it. That's the whole thing. I force myself because I know that's something that's not very conducive to what I want to do or where I want to go or the message that I want to get out. We all have a tendency to wear masks in our life. Everybody does it. And from time to time, you don't show somebody who you really are. You might show there's a handful of people, and it sounds like you're the anomaly. Your family is the anomaly with that one where you know exactly who everybody is. And I commend you for it because the vast majority of people, they just put up that mask, they put up that wall, and you're never going to get beyond that wall. So, it sounds like you've made that successful jump. So Finbred, thank you so much for sending that question, and keep sending in your questions and we will try to get them on the air. So I'm gonna start this off. I have a tough time. I was raised a different way where somebody of your generation, they are Mr. to me. You are Mr. Nolting to me. You will always be Mr. Nolting to me. I have a tough time calling you Walter. So when I refer to you in this episode, I'm going to refer to you with all due respect that you've earned, that you deserve. So why don't you tell our audience a little bit about how you grew up?
Well, I was born in Flushing, Long Island, January, oh boy, 1925.
So did you have brothers and sisters?
No.
No, your only child.
Yeah.
So when it came growing up, you were either spoiled or you were or you were made to get to work?
Oh, also maybe 8 or 9, I get a lawyer, judge, or something. That's 1936, maybe 8 years old. I go to judge and make me come to Yonkers, New York. Also, Leak and Watts homeschool.
Okay.
And I go to there and live in five.
So you went to like a boarding school?
No, Leak and Watts orphan home.
Oh no.
Oh no, the not orphan home because mother and father no work. It's depression time.
Oh, so you were one of the children, and I've read about this. Like I've read about it numerous times. I've known enough depression kids to know what it did, the effect that it had on them.
Yeah.
So you were actually put into an orphanage because your parents couldn't afford you?
Yeah.
Wow.
And League Watts, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. And I graduate from 8th grade, 1940, 1939. And I graduate from Lincoln Watts, then go to Yonkers, New York, and high school, Saunders Technical School, high school, all boys.
So you never went back to your parents?
No,
No, that was it?
well, on weekends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My grandmother would come up to see him on the weekends when he was living at Leak and Watts.
This wasn't a choice. This was a
Correct.
necessity thing.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
What was your mother? She was a nurse in the city?
Yeah. Presbyterian, New York.
New York
Hospital.
Presbyterian, yeah.
Yeah. And overtime, no overtime, straight time, you know.
Well, can you recall what that did to your mother when she came and see you? Did it break her up? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a father, and I don't know if I could have handled that.
Father, also distance, close, no close.
Yeah.
Weekends, I get maybe train all the way from Yonkers to South Ferry, and I get on ferry boat and to Staten Island, 5 cents. 5 cents. Oh boy.
Boy, you don't get that anymore for 5 cents.
No. And also, I remember summertime when school was out. I go to Tivoli.
The key component to any law enforcement officer being the best version of themselves is through education. Sherrie Allsup is a leader in providing that education to police agencies, preparing them for the all too frequent dealings with sexual assault victims.
You've seen Sherrie on episode 169 of the Suffering podcast. She survived incest and almost daily sexual assault, so she comes from a place of experience and true understanding.
Sherrie has the intelligence, commitment, and compassion to open the eyes of those on the front lines, while providing the tools to effectively deal with a difficult situation. Sherrie's instruction comes from experience and multiple certifications.
Training with Sherrie will offer on-site training, customized schedules, specialized instruction tailored from a victim's perspective.
You are going to hear Sherrie's heart-wrenching but inspiring survivor story. Learn proprietary trauma-informed training techniques, uncovered victim-centered interview methods while earning continuing education credits according to your state guidelines. To be the best, you must learn from the best. Let Sherrie Allsup guide you through the delicate cases of sexual assault from a victim's point of view.
Be a source of comfort to those victims affected by these traumatic experiences while producing a solid investigation and uncovering details that often go unnoticed.
To find out more or to contact Sherrie Allsup, go to SherrieAllsup.com. That's SherrieAllsup.com.
100 miles up the Hudson River, I go to Tivoli and camp there.
Well, did you know what was going on? Were you aware as a young man?
No.
You didn't?
I first school, big doors, polished rocks.
Did you eat gruel? Because I read this book for the main character's name was Oliver, where they ate a lot of gruel in the orphanages.
Yeah,
Oh wait, that was Oliver Twist.
Yeah.
yeah.
Lisa.
More bread.
Lucky, I eat anything.
Well, you've been in World War II, and my grandfather, who I adored and was my favorite person in the world, that man had an iron stomach and would put ketchup on everything. Everything.
Yeah. Maybe I dislike broccoli.
Me too.
Green broccoli.
Me too.
White broccoli I like.
Cauliflower.
It's softer.
So I moved out of my house when I was 17 years old, and here's what I told myself. I'm not going to eat anything green. I am not going to do it. Now I'm 50 years old. My wife makes me eat green stuff. I don't want to, though. So I'm reverting back to when I was a child where I don't have control over my own diet anymore. Yeah. So now there was a fateful day in December of 1941, December 7th to be specific. You're a young man, and the world is all of a sudden, or the United States all of a sudden, is thrust into this war. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where were you?
Hampton, Connecticut. I get a postcard, 1 cent postcard, and I get drafted.
No kidding.
Yeah, and
What year did you get drafted?
1939, 40, I don't know.
Before Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Oh, you got drafted before Pearl Harbor.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Did you get called?
First, I camp and Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Boot camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a couple of weeks later, I go to
Is it this is the Army?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, first port, Fort Dix, New Jersey, and then train ride to Kalamazoo, Michigan,
Ooh.
and Fort Custer.
So there's a great movie by it was adopted from a play by Neil Simon called Biloxi Blues.
Yeah.
And they talk about the train ride down to Biloxi, Mississippi to go to boot camp. And all the shenanigans, you got a bunch of guys in there for 3 or 4 days in hot weather, crammed into this train. And if I've been on a train for 4 hours, 3 hours, but I don't think I could stand on. And this was a much more comfortable seat than you probably sat on.
First Hoboken, and then train all the way to Detroit, Chicago, and up the peninsula, Kalamazoo, Michigan, and Fort Custer, his military camp,
I don't even think.
military police.
Oh, okay. I don't even think Fort Custer exists anymore.
Yeah. Also, it's hurricane, the last hurricane,
Okay.
wiped out.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, God, I didn't know that.
yeah.
What a sin. So, you're actually in the Army when D-Day happens.
Yeah.
Or not D-Day, when Pearl Harbor happens.
Yeah.
You're in there.
Yeah.
What was your feeling? What was going on inside of you?
Well, I too young to understand that war,
Yeah.
Japan. Who's Japan? A flying circle.
The zeros,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always say that every generation, I don't even know how old you are, Chris, but every generation has a moment that they remember. For instance, your generation is Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
My parents' generation is when Kennedy was shot. Our generation is 9/11. I remember 9/11, and especially being here, we have a front row seat to it. I remember when 9/11 happened like it was yesterday, and it's 23 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
23 years ago.
yeah, 9/11 is 23 years ago.
Oh my God.
So here,
It's like yesterday.
yeah, for me it is too.
And January 6th, riot.
The January 6th riots. The
Trump.
the Capitol riots.
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor happens. So you pretty much know that you're going to war.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think everybody, my grandfather, what little information I could get out of him and his brothers, some of them, most of them, joined willingly. Although one of their brothers, they got drunk and they decided to go join the military. And
Oh, yeah.
the one brother who's
Drunk 3 times in the army. That's all.
that's it. Well,
Yeah. Quit smoking everything.
my grandfather was from a family of 9 Irish people, so drinking was as normal
Irish.
Yeah, me too. So, but they the one brother whose idea it was to go down and join the military, he was rejected, and the other ones went in, and one of them ended up getting captured at the Kasserine Pass in North Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so you're going to war, and you're a young man, so. There's a I guess there's something about national pride, like you're proud of America and you wanted to go fight for them, but you're probably scared too.
Oh, yeah. Scared. I don't think I'm scared because very lucky in Battle of the Bulge.
Mm-hmm.
One day before that, I all the way from Antwerp, Bastogne,
Mm-hmm.
and go on train to Paris.
Well, so you had told me that you landed in England on what, June 3rd, 1944?
Yeah, no, about June 25th or 26th.
So you came
I
right
go.
after.
Yeah.
There might be
Yeah.
there might be a little luck involved because you seem to miss these major battles by a couple days.
Yeah. Battle of Bulge. I one day earlier going to Paris. One day earlier, I would have been in it again.
Rather be lucky than good, though.
Yeah.
And that's a completely different conversation. Battle of the Bulge, we had a gentleman sitting in that very seat who was in the Battle of the Bulge, and he was telling me it was like the forest was exploding. That's what he told me. He goes, it was like the trees were exploding.
Yeah, everything.
Yep.
Very cold too.
Yep, and they couldn't dig foxholes because their shovels were breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gave me a window into what that was like, and the fact that you missed them is, part of me thinks that you're always put in a spot that you're supposed to be in. So you were supposed to miss those because you had something else to do.
Yeah, well, small boat, MTL, motor tow launch, maybe 50 foot long, and I steer it.
This was while you were in France?
Yeah, I go to Bastogne and go into Paris, whole Paris, 18 years old. Yeah, oh boy, Stella.
Those are stories for a different podcast. Your time in Paris as a young 18-year-old man who thinks they know everything and got the world by the what? Yeah.
Then maybe that's where he can answer where I don't know something about him.
Yeah. I would keep those secrets that what happened in Paris, because what happens in Paris usually stays in Paris.
No. MP come along, and all I have on fatigues. No Paris. You go to Antwerp again.
Oh, no. Did you ever see any action when you were over in Europe?
Bombs come over. D2 bombs come over and silent from France over to London and also Plymouth, England, and harbor there. And I get nearly all windows out, but that's all.
Yeah. You were very fortunate because I think the majority, if you're over there, that's the middle of that's the epicenter.
33 months I go.
You were long after the war had ceased.
Yeah.
Now, what was your duties? What was your duties? Were you still MP?
Little larger tugboats.
Oh, you were on the sea. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And Liberty ships from it, anchor out, and large barge, and storage tanks and empty out, and only Utah Beach is sandy and only high tide because 24-foot drop and high tide 24 foot up and Liberty ships come and I unload them and go in as far as possible, anchor them, and then engineers comes out and crane.
Oh, they bring the materials over, yeah.
Put tanks on barges, ammunition on barges, and then also lot of only nighttime is drivers truck because I know Germans was close enough to,
Well, you still had U-boats in the water.
yeah,
Yeah, you still had U-boats in the water, but there was so post-war, the war in Europe ends upon Hitler's death. I think they finally surrendered May 2nd, 1945.
yeah,
That's about May 2nd or May 3rd.
yeah.
But
I guess points high enough points to go home again, and not enough points.
I didn't know you had to get a certain amount of points to go home. Yeah.
The Suffering Podcast welcomes our newest sponsor, KetaRevive. Ketamine infusions that are personalized, accessible, and holistic. Proven treatments for post-traumatic stress, depression, anxiety, chronic pain, neuropathic pain, and so much more. KetaRevive is physician-operated with customized treatments tailored to you and an outstanding support system. KetaRevive offers first responder special discounts. So try something new, proven treatments, located in Wyckoff, New Jersey. To find out more, visit KetaRevive at KetaRevive.com. Let's start healing today.
Yeah,
So you're stuck there, but there's some real interesting stuff that you're bearing witness to. All right, so you're there. You're probably the people who came over on the ships to go do the Nuremberg trials. They're coming through. They're coming through your area.
yeah,
The monuments men going throughout France and going throughout all that area to find the stolen loot.
yeah.
So there was a lot going on post-war. Like my uncle Bobby was tasked with going into Europe and finding bodies. That was his job.
Yeah.
So he never saw action, but what he saw was far worse.
After.
Yeah, it was far worse. He saw the carnage of post-war rebuilding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they just the Germans they weren't the best people. They weren't the best people.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget my grandfather till his dying day. Till his dying day, held a huge grudge, hated Germans, hated Adolf Hitler, because he goes, you don't understand what these people were like. Not all Germans.
Yeah. I'm German.
Yeah. Not all Germans. But there was a fair enough amount where they held a grudge. And so you do your time over there. And it sounds like you're on a boat, so you're well versed in that stuff. How did you transition into the Merchant Marines? Like, why continue your service? You've done your service.
Mother, I don't know, girlfriend or something is in the Merchant Marine, and you get the piece of paper, and you join the Merchant Marine, and then New York, and oh God.
So you have to get a piece of paper to join the Merchant Marines.
Yeah.
And then you start this whole service at sea.
Yeah. In the office will point see ships available to points, and maybe oilers,
Well, you're responsible for bringing things around the world.
Yeah.
All right, it's people don't understand the vital purpose of a merchant marine.
Yeah. Pretty big merchant marine.
Yeah, the merchant marine.
And-
So I actually almost
and-
went to the Merchant Marine Academy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I almost went to the Merchant Marine Academy.
Stony Point?
Yeah, to play football.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it would have been a nice way where I could still do my service and go to one of the academies, play football. It hit all the markers, but it just never worked out.
First ship I go to was Coastal Conqueror, United Fruit Company. You know, the bananas. No bananas. Small ship, 3 holes, and first I got ship New York to all the way down to Florida and into the Caribbean Sea, and I get Honduras and Guatemala. Sport, small port, only only trucks can come out, and then go back to New York, and then go to Guatemala again, and third time I don't able to see that strange thing, cargo. I asked mate, okay, short voyage. Okay, short voyage. And I got then flying independent, large ship. And I go to first Philadelphia and then cross the sea and Casablanca. Yeah.
Did you say hi to Humphrey while you were there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And Tunisia, little country,
Mm-hmm.
and Tobruk, and then Alexandria, Egypt, and then Suez Canal.
So you've been everywhere.
Yeah, and I steer it. Hard steering because narrow, but possibly wide enough to come port, then Red Sea and Jeddah, Arabia,
Mm-hmm.
and then all the way to Horn, and then Bombay.
Oh, you went around the Horn of Africa?
No. Red Sea, Africa, what's his name? Asababa, King Asababa. Ethiopia, and then Indian Ocean and Bombay, and then south to Sri Lanka, used to be Colombo,
Mm-hmm.
and then
These are all very dangerous places now that you're describing.
yeah, extra pay yet because of bombs still in the water.
Oh, so the mines, the
Yeah,
mines in the water, yeah.
yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. Once, small ship, MTL, small ship, all wood, and then name English port Arromanches, I think, Arromanches. And Saturday, Sunday, I see ducks way out in the harbor. I find Enfield rifle,
nice.
yeah, and a couple of shots,
Couple of bullets.
yeah, well, go out a harbor and shoot ducks, fly away a little ways, flop down again, and all of a sudden I see bomb, what,
The mines, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you see mine.
yeah, because I see wood, so maybe 5 foot away, because I see wood, maybe metal, boom.
Yeah, yeah. You've lived, and then after you get out of Merchant Marines, you somehow survive 30 years in the post office, which may actually be more dangerous than World War II and the Merchant Marines combined, because I've heard some stories.
Yeah.
That's where all the shooters come from. But Mr. Nolting, we are coming to the end of this thing, and I'm very impressed. I love speaking to living history. I love that you're still here to tell these stories.
Yeah.
Because it's a big honor for me.
Yeah, I honor too, but coming out harder yet. Because,
Well, it was 80 years ago,
yeah,
so it's okay. It was 80 years ago.
80.
Yeah, it was 80 years ago, and then some. So the fact that you're having, it's up here somewhere.
Yeah.
But listen, I can't remember what I had for breakfast.
Yeah.
So the fact that the memories are fading or foggy.
Yeah.
But like I said, we are coming to the end of this thing here. And I always end every show the same way. You have borne witness to history and the suffering that is contained within history. World War II, going into an orphanage. The Merchant Marine Service is no joke. But it had to teach you something. You had to learn something from all this service that you've done for this country. And what do you think that service, what do you think it's taught you?
First, Lincoln Watts,
The orphanage.
yeah, I scared. Okay.
Well,
Whoopee.
Mr. Nolting, I do appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
I do appreciate you, and I do believe you are a national treasure. We should give you all the respect and honor that you've earned over your life, and I give you my gratitude. I give you my gratitude.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that's going to do it for this episode of the Suffering Podcast, the Suffering of World War II with Mr. Walter Nolting. And let's think about all the stuff that we learned. The Staten Island Ferry sure doesn't cost 5 cents anymore. I'd rather be lucky than good.
Yeah.
Women are more dangerous than bullets, but most importantly,
I saw George Washington bridge being built.
That's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one. But most importantly, not many of these treasures are left. So let's honor
Yeah.
Mr. Nolting. And that's going to do it for this episode. Don't forget to go to popple.com, put in the code TSP20 for a 20% discount on your digital business card. Follow us on all social media. That's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, OnlyFans. Follow me at Real Kevin Donaldson, and of course, follow the Suffering Podcast. And we're going to see you on the next episode.